Just kidding. There it goes. Okay, so the general rule of thumb the purpose of orientation is I'm going to teach you how to navigate the website and how to use some of the tools that are on there. So I'm going to start here. Our website is kwbresources.com. So this is specific to our market center as opposed to just an overall Keller Williams International. So if you go to our website, under the new agents button, which at this point you've been onboarded, so not all of this is going to be super relevant to you, but you'll be able to get the idea. If you go under this left-hand side, getting started, it'll give you a brief checklist and tell you all the things that are super helpful for you, including what you can expect in the onboarding process, like what we're going to ask you for, when you can expect responses, and who you're going to be hearing from. It talks about the supplemental documents that I ask you for, but then at the very bottom, there's things that you can do immediately. Some of those are obviously checking out the website, looking at the office training calendar, getting involved that way, joining Ignite, which I believe you've done before, maybe like a while back.
Yeah,
Okay.
back, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to do it again, you're more than welcome to. You don't have to. Then there's joining our Facebook pages, which is super helpful to stay involved and connected with everybody. Attending office meetings. So orientation is one. Check. You did great. There's team meetings. There's things like that that you can get involved in, especially those recurring meetings. Sabre has a forms class that is also pretty helpful, but I'm sure Matt's pretty helpful as well with a lot of that stuff. And then at the very bottom, if I always tell people, if you plan on being here more than a few times in person in the month, it's probably the safest just to register your car and get a parking pass here. So we have them based off of the building that we're in. So I usually recommend that. Again, if you plan on being here several times in person within the month,
I think I submitted like my license plate and stuff.
Okay.
So do I get like a parking pass?
So you will get a parking pass. Usually, do you know when you did that? Like, was it a while ago?
I did all that. Like those forms.
Okay. So if you did it then I would suggest going to the front desk. Sue, she has, there's a mail room right by her, and she'll happily show you that, show you the mail room. In there, you're going to have a mail folder, which is usually when I try to talk about mail folders too. So we give you a manila folder with your name on it. So any mail that is ever directed to the office as opposed to where you live, that's where you can find it. So she'll tuck it all in your mail folder. She checks the mail multiple times a day. So that's really great resource for you to pick up your stuff. But the parking pass in particular usually comes here because they know that you're associated with Keller Williams. So that would be where I would check. If you don't have it in there, then you might just want to fill it out again.
Yeah, is there like I guess that's the form.
So yeah, so you would just go to this link here and it would take you to our office park form. Okay, so you would fill it out or online, and then they'll take all that information and they'll run over in an envelope your little parking pass. So feel free to do that. It's just going to be under the new agents page and then under the learn more, and you just scroll to the bottom. So that's something helpful then. And that'll be dropped off in your mail folder. So I can still show you that at some point. And then
so that's under.
So this is our homepage for like the website. You'll go under this new agents button. And then when you click on that, it's just going to be under this left-hand side that says getting started, and then you click the learn more. And so in addition to that, there's also on the right-hand side of that same screen, we have the Scott Leroy page, and Scott Leroy, obviously you've gotten all your information from them now twice for different market centers. So you're familiar with them, but they do offer a lot beyond just setting up all your KW accounts. They do offer lots of different trainings and things like that on their own website. So you can look into those as well in case, maybe a certain instructor is not speaking to you. Maybe you do better with things more like videos as opposed to live classes. Whatever your learning style, usually there's something somewhere for you to check out. Scott Leroy has their own different approach to things. So definitely something to check out. But underneath Scott Leroy, since they did set up all your tech, if you ever have any issues with getting things set up, I always recommend going to KT first, but sometimes it is just easiest to circle back to Scott Leroy, and they're really, really responsive. If you ever find yourself in that position, let me know because I have their email for you. So scrolling down a little further, here's all the links to our Facebook pages if you're interested in joining any of them. This one would be the one for our market center, and that's just about things that are going on in the market center. It's a nice platform for other agents to communicate with each other about listings and ISOs, things like that. So you'd be able to talk to people that way.
I joined those, but I don't think I've seen anything.
Okay, so I was gonna say, so you might want to see if you're a part of them. If not, that's totally fine. I can't remember at this point because it's been a little bit, I think, since you would have joined. So I can't quite recall, but
Valentine area, Charlotte, North Carolina.
yes, it was a private page.
I liked it.
Okay, so then you would have to do a different one. So that one's probably the public page. So we have a private page, and then it'll act like you'll submit a request to join it, and we would accept it as admins on the page. So it'll be this link here. And then the one below that, if you're interested in joining that one, which is usually the other one I try to highlight, is a strategic vendor partner Facebook page. So it's all of our vendor partners that we have, and they're all on the same Facebook page. Rob has put that together and done a really great job with it. And if you ever find yourself in need of somebody and you're not sure who to talk to, but you need, plumbers, things like that, you can go onto that page. The really great thing is, again, they're all part of that page, so that you can communicate with them straight from that page, look at their business pages. Or the other great thing that I like is using just that search feature on the page. You would be able to search plumber, electrician, anything like that, and it would automatically generate everyone on that page who's related to that profession. So you'd have a great access right there. Scrolling down a little further, colorisms, if you click on that, it's going to give you a little spreadsheet of all the terms that are specific to Keller Williams that you might not otherwise understand. Because that happened to me when I first started, and I had no idea what half of the words meant. So if you ever find yourself in that position, obviously there's probably people who will explain it to you, but if not, and you don't want to embarrass yourself by asking, you can check out the sheet. Super great. Going a little bit further, there's an access to command. So with command, obviously, because it was built for Keller Williams by Keller Williams, sometimes that can be a little hanky. So in those situations, if you ever come across, I don't know how to do this, this website right here, answers.kw.com, is an entire platform dedicated to frequently asked questions about command. So if you ever don't understand something and it's like 3 a.m, you're welcome to check here without having to bother somebody, whatever you prefer. But a lot of times those questions will be there. There's also another website called support.kw.com, which is specifically made just so you can drop off suggestions about command, because they do love to hear from people. So if there's absolutely something that's not working, feel free to let them know and they'll try and fix it. For Ignite, you can download materials here if you find yourself ready to join again. But scrolling down a little bit further, there's the office training calendar. So there's a couple different ways to pull to these things on the website. I like to show you the easiest way, so I'm not going to necessarily click on that. We also have a way to book conference rooms. Obviously, since you're a part of a team, that'll probably be done for you. You won't necessarily have to do that yourself. But if you ever find yourself in the position where you want to book a conference room, you would be able to use this bottom button here. You would just register and use this spreadsheet here to book a conference room. It'll show you all the conference rooms we have, the capacity that they hold, who's got them and when, and where you can kind of squeeze yourself in. So it's kind of nice to look at that way. But you guys do have a nice little space back there, so I don't know that you'll need one. So then under frequently asked questions, if you're ever going to ask a question about the market center, you're not sure who to talk to, you can go here. There's a few frequently asked questions, and if you just hover over, it'll tell you who you can contact and give you their contact information. And that's just the leadership team right there. Going a little bit further, see, like, this is why I like when there's only a couple people, because I can just kind of roll through it. So this is going to be a password protected tab. So the password's actually going to be this same password, if you can see it on the board here. Everything minus the exclamation point. So very similar to the Wi-Fi. So it's capital B, AMC, 350, and then an exclamation, or not an exclamation point. And so under here for on-demand training, this is really great. So if you have any questions that you might need answered, of course, it's going to make me sign in. That's nice. It's not done that before. One second. Done. Okay, there we go. So there is an entire Google Drive with several folders. I usually can update the new agent tab frequently. And up here, I'll put uploaded videos of orientations, compliance orientations, things like that are helpful. So that way you know how to get your forms approved. Carla runs compliance orientation, which is another great thing to attend. So she'll show you the different steps to getting your forms approved right off the bat, show you what she's looking for. There's different tabs here for everyone pretty much on leadership. So Sabra's got her own with some recordings of her forms classes. There's team meetings, tech classes, things like that. So that's a helpful source for you if you're ever looking to see what you may have missed. I know that I update mine regularly. I can't access everybody else's though, so I can't speak to theirs, but I know that I do mine all the time. And then on the right-hand side here for Command on Demand, when you pull that up, this is an entire YouTube channel by Faith Hill. She's actually one of our agents right now. And she made this entire channel dedicated to how to navigate Command. So there's a lot of tutorial videos here, some ranging obviously to really high, like 46 minutes. Some are just 2. So again, if you're ever having trouble with command, that's a really good spot to check. And I'll close out of that real quick. Then just kind of a brief description of Ignite again, which we are bringing back in person to the office. So if you did want to join in Ignite, you'd be learning from our veteran agents, which would be really great. They also have a lot of supplemental materials that they're going to bring to the table, which would be really exciting. But then the next tab over is our office resources tab, and that's going to be the same password. And under office resources, this is where you can find a lot of the forms, which is why I like to show this off. Under the general form side, so on this left-hand side, you can go under get forms. So North Carolina license, which you're North Carolina, right? Okay. So North Carolina, you're North Carolina and Kentucky and South Carolina. Oh, I was gonna say, I knew Kentucky. I was like, I don't have Kentucky forms. So. Okay, so North Carolina forms are going to be right here. So these are a lot of the forms that Sabra's realized people ask for commonly. So she just went ahead and put them on here. So this is a really great stopping point if you're ever looking for a specific form. Obviously with commercial, you might have a few different forms. So feel free to check here first, but I'm sure that Matt showed you how to access those. So feel free to look here though. There's a lot of great forms on there to get familiar with and to work with. In the middle here, if you go under get checklist, Sabra has drafted these checklists herself. So these are North Carolina and South Carolina transaction checklists, and it basically walks you through all the different transactions that you may have. So they're really great as well. I'm trying to see here. Yeah, so there's South Carolina listings, North Carolina listings, and it just kind of breaks down the forms that you're going to need, what to expect, when to expect that. So hopefully it's not as crazy.
Consumer guides, agency disclosure forms.
Great question. I would assume so.
Like Ohio requires that they're like upfront given and signed.
Okay.
And even talking to people really. So
nice. Love that. I know we do the working with real estate agents is one of those for us, which I think is similar where you're supposed to get that signed right away. I would check under the get forms button right here. There's South Carolina forms on this side. So that would give you a kind of idea. Unfortunately, I would love to have a better answer for you. I'm not real estate licensed, so I don't know like nearly enough about the actual transaction process myself. But that would be an easy question to ask like Carla, who is in the same office as me. You could ask Sabra. Sabra's out sick right now though, so maybe I'll bother Sabra. But several people that you could easily ask that question to, and they'd be able to direct you to where it is. But going a little further, CE Shop, if you ever need any exam prep or if you need anything for post-licensing, any of those things, we actually partner with CE Shop. So this will take you to our dual branded website. And they run a lot of discounts. And so I like to try and share those with people, but that's a really great way to, if you have anything that you need to catch up on, and they do it for several different states. So if you wanted to try and do anything for your several licenses or get another one, who knows, then that would be a great spot for you to check and try and get a deal while you're on there. And then another really great thing about the CE Shop that I like to point out is if you go under this Agent Essentials tab, go to the hot topics, there's a whole list of blogs, ebooks, podcasts, and videos that you guys can check out. Some of them are funny. Some of them are more directed for you to either learn from, or you can even share those with some of your clients. So it's a really great way for you to go on here and try to diversify your own feed if that's what you're interested in doing. So it can get you more traffic on your page if you're really into social media marketing. So I'll close out of that real quick. Valentine floor plan, which I have never once needed myself, so I doubt you will, but it's there. And then going a little bit lower, there's a lot of the numbers that might be helpful for you to know, like our Canopy MLS ID as a market center. We've got our big license number for North Carolina and South Carolina. So things like that, that you might find yourself needing, you can just go under the office resources tab, type in that password and scroll to the bottom. Some of the numbers you might come across that you need are not going to be on here, in which case you can email or ask whoever you might need to. Myself included, you can always email me and I can direct you to who has the answer. But here's a good resource to stop and check just in case, because that has a lot of really great ones. Under office training calendar, this is the easiest way to pull to that. Not that it's going to work. There we go. So it'll just take you straight down. But under the office training calendar, it's just going to break down everything we've got going on in the market center at any given time. So you can check each individual date. So today's the 6th. So if you go under here, you can see obviously orientation, but there's Ignite right there. Oh, it's an Ignite meeting. I was like, Ignite. I was like, so then there's also T group meetings that are going on. There's going to be a video masterclass later. So T group is your transaction group. So Sabra does, she's created these groups herself, which it's like a whole elaborate program at this point, but she has a lot of agents that have volunteered their time. They're all book eligible. So people like Tasha, Carrie, they've each got their own T group. So basically these are individuals that you could go to before Sabra that would help to show you transactions and how to fill out certain forms. So they're really great to get to know. You should hopefully have been assigned one. If not, I have the list in my office so I can show you who you'd be assigned to.
I got an email from Sabra last night saying it was canceled today. I didn't know
Okay.
what that was.
See, so that would probably, so if the T group was canceled, then that's probably, is it the forms class that was canceled?
I didn't know anything.
Nope, it's okay. It's okay. So she usually, what I was going to say is, so Sabra runs a forms class every Thursday. She usually rotates between NC buyers, NC listings, South Carolina buyers, and South Carolina listings. So all those would be beneficial to you. So she spends, it's a long window of time. It's 2 hours every Thursday, but she literally just goes through the details of how to fill out each of these forms and gives you kind of an in-depth understanding of that. But she also has obviously her T group program. So these are also individuals that will take time out of their day. So they usually do 1.5 hour meetings weekly, and they'll go over different aspects of transactions as well. And they'd also be somebody who's really good for you to go talk to if you have a question in the middle of a transaction or right before one, wherever you're at. But whoever your T group partner is that you were assigned would be the best person for you to reach out to. Obviously, if you can't get to them, they're all really flexible and very understanding. So they're all going to try and help you as best they can. Going a little bit further, though, we have all of our recurring meetings. So just kind of touching on ALC meets. So that's our Agent Leadership Council. And so they are some of our top 20% producers. They've all volunteered to join committees, and they're trying to make a difference in the market center, which is great. So they all represent different committees. And they are able to meet once a month. So if you ever wanted to show up to one of their meetings, you could understand a little bit more of what's going on in our market center. We have team meetings here on the second and fourth Tuesday of every month. And there's also those forms classes I was telling you every Thursday. Here's a little bit more about Sabra. Going down, we have our ALC. So these are all the people who are actively on our 2022 ALC, the committees that they work on, and also what their email is if you ever want to get in touch with any of them. We also have our productivity coaches. So if you were involved in the coaching program at all or wanted to be, these are some great individuals to get to know. They're here to help you, to help motivate you. I know McCoy is actually part of the program. The coaching program with Miranda. But so you would have your own coach and they would help to motivate you, keep you accountable, and really help to try and boost your productivity. So they're great. The program's awesome. So definitely check that out if you're interested. Going a little further, here's our T group partners. So to show you all the T group partners that we have in our program and what their specialty is. So Sharon's really great with NC contracts and forms, but we've got Tasha who does big general questions for South Carolina, Sabra who's good at both. So I'm sure you probably fall under Sabra's umbrella, honestly. But you could be under anybody, but usually she tries to make it somebody that's going to be relevant to where your license is held. We also have first step partners. These are all people, this is another program that Sabra's kind of drawn up herself. All of your first step partners are individuals that are here to help you as a new agent. So they should at some point reach out to you and send you a 30, 60, 90. It's just kind of like an overall checklist to keep you accountable, give you an idea of what you can be doing first thing as a new agent. So they also try and conduct calls when they can. Obviously, they've got a lot on their own business, but they do make a point to carve out time to talk to you and make sure you're doing well and see where you're at with the 30, 60, 90 and make sure that everything's going smoothly for you, answer any questions. Right here, if you click right here, that's another way to pull to command, which is easy, but we also have more frequently used sites at the bottom. We have Scott Leroy, Canopy, things like that. So if you ever forget the URL, I guess you could just click on that to make it easier. The next thing I like to do is go under helpful links. We have a prayer request form. So if there's ever anything that's going on in your life or someone that you know and you care about, you can let us know in that. It's anonymous if you prefer it to be, and it'll only go to our leadership. Our leadership team likes to know about that so that we can take the time to pray for you guys in the morning. But so that would just be something that you guys could fill out. It links closely with our KW Cares. KW Cares is obviously an overarching, you donate and it's a charity thing. There's an international scale level, but we also have one that's independent just for our market center. So we always try to make sure that everything is going smoothly in people's lives, and we'll do what we can with that funds that have been collected to help you. We don't want anybody to be struggling. So that's a really great thing as well. Underneath, there's a refer an agent form. So if you've worked with anybody that you really like at a different firm, maybe somebody you know that just got licensed, anything like that, and you would love for them to join at KW, then that would be a really good thing for you to fill out. Or you can even just talk to one of our recruiters. I think you've talked to Teresa a couple times. But so you can talk to just about you can talk to our recruiters, or you can fill out that form. That form will also inform them. And it'll just give us the name and contact information so we know to go talk to them. But it's a really great way for you to try and build your downline, because if you were the reason that they joined KW, you influence them heavy, there's a chance that they may select you as their sponsor. And then in that case, then you're already building profit share. So really great thing. And then, so that's another, right below that is Colorisms again, just another pull to that Colorism sheet. Another way to access Canopy, scheduling a conference room. I do like to pull this one up. So strategic vendor partners, again, these are all those partners that are gonna be on that Facebook page, but it's just one convenient spreadsheet. So if you don't want to join the Facebook page, Rob does a really good job of updating this, but it'll tell you by their profession, who we have that's considered a preferred partner that has raving reviews from a lot of our agents that have been used a lot. So it tells you what their company name is, who they are, email, phone number, what their services are, and then if they've got a website as well. So another really great thing to get comfortable using, if you ever find yourself in a pinch and you need some work done for a house or for a client. And then going down a little bit further, these are just other great tools to look at. They've got some of our Keller Inc., which is books by Keller Williams, things like that. There's also book recommendations, there's magazines, things like Think Like a CEO podcast, all these great things that you can use on the website that I feel like is not commonly understood when you just go on the website. So I like to take the time to show you guys. And then this last little button is I need tech help. So if you ever need tech help, I would recommend clicking that button right there, because it immediately allows you to schedule 15 minutes with KT, who's our tech head. So if you went ahead and scheduled that, it does say Zoom, but if you prefer to meet in person, and assuming that he's able to flex that and make sure that he's here for that, then you're more than welcome to request when you drop it. But if you just click right there, it'll let you schedule 15 minutes directly on his calendar. So it's a great resource, and it helps him out too, because you're already scheduled. It makes it that much easier. He knows he's got to meet with you. And it'll make it perfect, and hopefully he'll be able to answer all your questions. But there you go. That's pretty much the gist of the website. Again, I was able to roll through that really fast. So do you have any questions for me? I was gonna say, I feel like it's pretty straightforward, but I know that that is a lot of information. So if you come up with any questions, you're welcome to ask me at any point. But yeah, that's kind of just the website. I like to show it because, like I said, there are some things on there that wouldn't scream out at you unless you knew about them. So definitely something, there's a lot of tools on there if you ever find yourself in need of them. But other than that, that's orientation. So good job. Perfect. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead.